In ancient Greece, during the 3rd century BC, a new school of thought emerged, one that would influence thinkers and leaders for centuries to come. This was Stoicism. Founded by Zeno of Citium, this philosophy wasn't just about individual resilience, but also about our interconnectedness with the world around us. One of the key concepts in this tradition is oikeiosis, a term derived from the Greek word oikos, meaning household or home. Porphyry, a Neoplatonic philosopher of the late 3rd century, helped shape this idea, which can be translated as affiliation, appropriation, affinity, or familiarization. At its core, oikeiosis illustrates the fundamental connection between self-preservation and social connection. It suggests that our drive for survival and belonging is an integral part of our nature, deeply rooted in the fabric of who we are. The actual Stoic tradition is deeply relational, not just about emotional flatness or impassiveness as commonly perceived. Zeno, Chrysippus, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, all prominent Stoics, practiced this philosophy. Many influential figures throughout history have been drawn to this philosophy. Kings and presidents like Frederick the Great and Theodore Roosevelt, artists and writers such as Montaigne and Thomas Jefferson, and even modern leaders like General James Mattis have found wisdom in Stoicism. The concept of oikeiosis provides a unique lens through which to understand our complex human nature. It reminds us that we are social beings, hardwired for connection and community. As we delve deeper into the principles of Stoicism, oikeiosis will serve as our guiding light, illuminating the path to a more profound understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. The story of the term oikeiosis begins in ancient Greece, amidst the echoes of philosophy and wisdom that would shape our world. Zeno established the Stoic school around 301 BC, a time when intellectual ferment was rife across the Mediterranean world. To understand oikeiosis, imagine a warm and nurturing home, a place where you feel safe, connected, and at ease. This concept of oikos is central to the idea of oikeiosis. It encapsulates a sense of familiarity, appropriateness, and belonging. They believe that our drive for survival is intricately tied to our need for belonging, that to live well, we must understand both ourselves and our place in society. This principle would become a cornerstone of Stoic ethics, offering profound insights into human nature and the fabric of societal life. The origin and etymology of oikeiosis set the stage for exploring its rich implications and applications within Stoic thought. In the annals of Stoic philosophy, few concepts hold as much weight and relevance as self-preservation. The methodologists, in their exploration on July 15, 2026, delved into this foundational aspect of our existence. Self-preservation is not merely a biological necessity, it's the bedrock upon which our psychology and social interactions are built. At its core, self-preservation is our innate drive to ensure survival. It's the automatic reflex that kicks in when we sense danger. But delve deeper, and you'll find a rich tapestry of behaviors and psychological mechanisms that underpin this instinct. Herbert Spencer, an early proponent of self-preservation psychology, posited that this drive is a universal condition for individual survival. It's not just about fleeing danger, it's also about fostering connection and belonging. Consider the fight or flight response, a classic example of self-preservation mechanisms at play in our brains. When faced with a threat, hormones like adrenaline surge, triggering physiological changes that ready us for action. But self-preservation isn't just about physical safety, it encompasses our mental and emotional well-being too. In modern life, self-preservation psychology explores strategies for maintaining healthy balance in today's fast-paced world. Imagine a high-stakes scenario where your flight response kicks in, but there's no physical danger, just the stress of modern life. This is where self-preservation can become maladaptive, potentially harming our mental health. The Stoics recognized this duality. They understood that while self-preservation is essential for survival, it must be balanced with a sense of belonging and community, a principle known as Oikeiosis. Oikeiosis, as explored by Porphyry and other Neoplatonic philosophers, highlights the interconnected nature of self-preservation and social bonding. It teaches us that our drive for survival is intrinsically linked to our desire for connection. In today's world, this principle is more relevant than ever. Self-preservation isn't just about the physical act of surviving, it's about our mental and emotional resilience within the context of our communities. Perhaps the most profound aspect of Oikeiosis is that it teaches us to find meaning in both survival and connection. It's not just about preserving ourselves, it's about preserving our bonds with others. This basic form of Oikeiosis ensures our survival by prompting us to act in ways that protect and preserve ourselves. But the Stoics recognize that this drive doesn't stop at the individual, it extends outward. The second form of Oikeiosis involves extending this self-concern outward through family, friends, and fellow citizens to encompass all of humanity. This expansion is not merely a theoretical idea, but a practical application of Stoic principles. Imagine the concept of family, the bonds that form the core of our social existence. For the Stoics, this was an essential part of understanding how self-preservation intertwines with social connection. But it doesn't end there. The Stoics believed in extending this care and concern to the broader community, fellow citizens, and ultimately, all of humanity. This expansion of Oikeiosis is the philosophical basis for Stoic cosmopolitanism, the idea that we are all citizens of a global community rather than just members of isolated nations. Through Oikeiosis, the Stoics grounded their ethical system in justice, recognizing that our drive for survival is deeply interconnected with our moral responsibility to care for others. As we explore this doctrine, we see how our fundamental drive for self-preservation is intricately woven with our need for social connection, showcasing that survival and belonging are integral parts of our nature. Cicero wrote On Ens in 45 BC, where he mentioned nature and the concept of Oikeiosis, a principle central to Stoic ethics. This idea wasn't just about personal survival, but also our social connection and the broader context of our existence. The root of Oikeiosis is oikoses, meaning household or home. For the Stoics, this concept encapsulated not just personal self-preservation, but also our relationship with others and the world around us. Zeno and his followers asserted that Oikeiosis is the principle of justice, illustrating how our drive for survival is intertwined with fairness and social order. According to Stoic thought, Oikeiosis played a significant role in shaping several key principles, including the importance of self-care. It posits that our fundamental drive for self-preservation is not isolated, but part of a larger web of relationships. In essence, Oikeiosis grounds the Stoics' ethical system in justice, suggesting that our drive for survival is deeply connected to how we treat others and ourselves. Perhaps most importantly, this principle reminds us that self-preservation isn't just about the individual, but also about our place within a broader tapestry of life. Another key figure is Porphyry, who lived from approximately 234 AD to 35 AD. As a Neoplatonic philosopher, Porphyry contributed to the understanding of Oikeiosis by exploring how this principle can extend our self-concern beyond ourselves. Through these historical figures, we can see how the concept of Oikeiosis has evolved and been refined over time. It serves as a fundamental reminder that our drive for survival is intrinsically linked to our place within a broader social context. By understanding this, we gain insights into the deep relational nature of Stoicism and how it encourages us to cultivate not just individual resilience, but also a sense of belonging and connection to others. This historical perspective sets the stage for exploring how Oikeiosis can help guide our modern approach to self-preservation, reminding us that our well-being is inextricably tied to the well-being of those around us. So as we continue to explore the significance of Oikeiosis, Let's keep these historical figures and their contributions in mind, for they offer valuable insights into the enduring relevance of this profound concept. Stoicism, as a philosophy, has seen an intriguing resurgence in modern times. This is not merely due to its historical significance, but because it offers practical applications that resonate with contemporary life. The concept of oikeiosis, which deals with self-preservation and social connection, is particularly relevant in our current contexts. Stoicism's principles of discipline, mindfulness, and the transcendence of suffering are deeply aligned with modern mindfulness practices. Empathy, another core Stoic principle, is crucial in navigating our complex social landscapes today. Acceptance, as taught by the Stoics, helps us to cope with life's inevitable ups and downs, making our relationships more resilient and robust. The benefits of Stoic philosophy for individuals have been well documented, but its true power lies in its ability to improve our connections with others. In a world that can often feel disconnected and individualistic, the principles of Oikeiosis offer a grounding framework for understanding our innate need for both self-preservation and social connection. By embracing these ancient yet timeless ideas, we can enhance not only our personal well-being, but also the quality of our relationships and communities. Let's delve into the fascinating intersection of ancient philosophy and modern science, exploring how our drive for survival is deeply interwoven with our social nature. This ancient wisdom finds modern echoes in the field of evolutionary psychology, which studies how our brains have evolved to prioritize survival. In this context, the term survival instincts is not just a cliché, but a scientifically backed principle that guides our behavior. The survival instinct in psychology relates to our innate drive for existence and the automatic responses that help ensure it. Neuroscience reveals that specific regions of the brain, such as the amygdala, are pivotal in processing fear and survival responses. These instinctive behaviors are not just automatic, but also complex, serving crucial biological purposes that have been honed over millions of years through evolutionary biology. Imagine a baby's first cry, an innate behavior essential for survival, drawing attention and ensuring care. For example, specific fears and phobias can be traced back to our evolutionary past, where certain stimuli posed a threat to our ancestors. The life instinct, as it's often termed in psychology, encompasses both immediate reactions and long-term planning for safety and sustenance. This intricate interplay between our survival drive and our social nature is beautifully encapsulated in the Stoic concept of oikeiosis. Oikeiosis, which translates to affiliation or familiarization, emphasizes how our self-concern naturally extends outward, encompassing our families, friends, and ultimately all of humanity. By understanding the scientific basis of these instincts, we can better appreciate how deeply rooted in our evolutionary history our drive for connection and belonging truly is. This integration of ancient wisdom with modern science not only enriches our understanding of human nature, but also underscores the profound importance of self-care and social connection in leading a balanced life. And so, as we continue to explore the timeless principles of Stoicism, we find ourselves on a journey that bridges ancient philosophy with contemporary scientific insights. Current research explores how this doctrine can inform modern psychology and philosophy, offering insights into our intrinsic need for belonging and survival. Studies have shown that self-preservation instincts are not merely individualistic, but extend to community and societal levels, reflecting our deep need for connection and mutual support. However, there remain unresolved questions about the extent to which these instincts can be harnessed for social good without triggering maladaptive behaviors. Future implications suggest that understanding oikeiosis could revolutionize how we approach mental health, resilience training, and even societal cohesion in times of crisis. Researchers are particularly interested in how oikeiosis can be leveraged to cultivate inner strength and emotional resilience, essential for navigating modern challenges. As we continue this exploration, it becomes clear that the future potential of oikeiosis lies not just in individual growth, but in its ability to foster a deeper sense of community and collective well-being. This ancient concept, deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy, holds the promise of illuminating new paths towards mental health, social harmony, and personal fulfillment. In an era marked by rapid change and increasing complexity, the wisdom of oikeiosis offers timeless insights that can guide us towards a more balanced and resilient future. As we uncover more about this foundational aspect of human nature, we are reminded of our intrinsic capacity for both self-preservation and social connection, a truth that continues to resonate deeply in the modern world. Looking ahead, the enduring relevance of oikeiosis is clear, ensuring it remains a cornerstone in our ongoing quest to understand and enhance human well-being. Understanding this principle offers valuable insights into why we act the way we do in various situations, from everyday interactions to critical decision-making moments. It explains why self-preservation isn't merely about physical survival, but also encompasses our need for connection and belonging. Recognizing the enduring significance of oikeiosis allows us to appreciate the complexity of human nature and the importance of cultivating both self-care and social connections. It reminds us that true well-being is not achieved in isolation, but through meaningful relationships and a sense of belonging. In our modern world, where societal challenges often highlight divisions rather than unity, the principles of oikeiosis serve as a vital reminder. They encourage us to acknowledge our shared humanity and strive for connections that foster resilience and well-being on both individual and collective levels. The Stoics believed that understanding and regulating one's emotions are crucial aspects of cultivating inner strength. They saw emotions not as forces to be suppressed, but rather as signals that can guide us toward more rational and virtuous actions. At the core of oikeiosis lies the idea of emotional resilience, the ability to bounce back from adversity. The Stoics recognize that our emotions, while powerful, should not dictate our responses. Instead, they advocated for using reason and self-awareness to navigate through challenging situations. Seneca, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, advised in his letters to embrace a practice of mental training known as premeditatio malorum. This involves imagining potential misfortunes before they happen as a means of preparing oneself emotionally for any eventuality. By visualizing difficult circumstances, we can develop emotional resilience and learn to respond rationally rather than react impulsively. This practice helps to build an internal fortitude that is less susceptible to the whims of emotions. Aurelius taught that by accepting what we cannot change and focusing on what is within our control, we can maintain a calm and steadfast demeanor. This acceptance allows us to face challenges with clarity and resolve rather than being overwhelmed by emotions. Practical exercises from Stoic texts often revolve around the concept of negative visualization, imagining the worst possible outcomes as a way to prepare emotionally for any adversity that might come our way. This practice is not about inducing fear, but about developing a Stoic mindset that is ready for any eventuality. By repeatedly exposing ourselves to these mental scenarios, we can build an emotional resilience that helps us navigate through real-life challenges with composure and rationality. The Stoics believed that this practice would make us more resilient in the face of adversity. The Oikeiosis doctrine illustrates how our natural drive for survival and belonging is deeply intertwined with our emotional well-being. By understanding and regulating our emotions, we can enhance our resilience and foster a deeper connection with ourselves and others around us. In Stoic virtue ethics, this idea finds a profound expression through the four cardinal virtues: wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. Wisdom, for instance, is not just about acquiring knowledge, but understanding how to apply it effectively in one's life. It involves recognizing what is within our control and acting accordingly to benefit both ourselves and those around us. Justice, in the context of oikeiosis, emphasizes treating others fairly and respecting their rights as part of our extended family. Courage, too, is not merely about facing danger but also about standing up for what is right, even when it's difficult. Temperance involves moderating our desires and actions to ensure they align with our values and the greater good of society. These virtues are not just ideals but practical guidelines for living a life that is in harmony with nature and others. In his work On Ends, Cicero, a significant Stoic philosopher, emphasized the importance of these virtues in leading a fulfilled life. He noted that wisdom allows us to make sound judgments, justice ensures fairness, courage fortifies our resolve, and temperance helps maintain balance. Epictetus, in his teachings on Stoicism, underscored the importance of cultivating these virtues as part of our personal growth and well-being. Through these virtues, we not only enhance our own lives, but also contribute positively to the world around us. The pursuit of virtue is thus an integral part of our survival instinct and desire for community, reflecting the core tenets of oikeiosis. The Stoic concept of oikeiosis expanded on this, highlighting how our natural inclination to care for ourselves extends to those we consider part of our family or community. This principle was not merely philosophical, it was woven into the very fabric of ancient Greek society, where familial loyalty and communal cohesion were paramount. As the Stoics observed, this sense of belonging and responsibility towards others was not limited to immediate family. It extended to fellow citizens, creating a web of mutual support and interdependence. The Stoic belief in the interconnectedness of all things, including humans and their societies, further emphasized this notion, suggesting that oikeiosis is a natural response to our shared humanity. In ancient Greek society, rituals and customs often centered around reinforcing these bonds of belonging and collective responsibility. For instance, the symposium was not merely a gathering for intellectual discourse, but also a way to foster a sense of brotherhood among participants. This societal structure mirrored the Stoic belief that our survival and well-being are intrinsically linked to our connections with others, reflecting the core tenets of oikeiosis. The Stoics saw this not just as a moral imperative, but as a practical necessity for human flourishing and resilience. Therefore, the pursuit of virtue within ancient Greek society was an integral part of self-preservation and desire for community, validating the timelessness of oikeiosis. Ancient Greek society provides a vivid backdrop against which the tenets of oikeiosis come into sharp focus, showing how self-preservation is inherently tied to our social connections. In doing so, it affirms that our drive for survival and belonging is not a modern construct, but a timeless aspect of who we are as humans. This practice of meditative introspection was not merely a means of personal reflection, but a profound exploration of the self and its connections to others. In his writings, Marcus Aurelius emphasizes the importance of examining one's thoughts and emotions with clarity and honesty. He believed that through such introspection, individuals could come to understand their innate drive for self-preservation, a principle known as Oikeiosis, and how it is deeply interwoven with our desire for social connection. Epictetus, another prominent Stoic philosopher, also advocated for meditation as a means of cultivating inner strength and tranquility. He taught that by turning inward, one could develop a keen awareness of their own thoughts and actions, thereby enhancing their capacity for self-care and social connection. For the Stoics, meditation was not just about individual introspection, it was also about understanding one's place within a broader community and the natural world. By contemplating our interconnectedness with all living beings, they believed we could deepen our sense of belonging and responsibility towards others. Through these meditative practices, the Stoics sought to strengthen their innate drive for survival and social connection, recognizing that our well-being is inextricably tied to the well-being of those around us. Modern therapy often draws on ancient wisdom to help individuals manage anxiety and depression. One such concept is Oikeiosis, which has found practical application in cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. By applying cognitive reframing, individuals can learn to view their thoughts and behaviors in a more balanced and realistic way. This approach helps to reduce anxiety and depression by promoting self-awareness and emotional regulation. Another key aspect of CBT is exposure therapy, which involves gradually exposing individuals to situations they fear or avoid. This technique helps them develop coping mechanisms and build resilience over time. The Stoic concept of oikeiosis is also relevant here, as it emphasizes the importance of extending our concern beyond ourselves to encompass all of humanity. In CBT, exposure therapy helps individuals to expand their comfort zone and build a sense of connection with others. Moreover, the principles of self-preservation and social connection are not only relevant to mental health, but also extend to our broader social interactions. By recognizing the interconnectedness of our well-being, we can foster a greater sense of empathy and community. In essence, Oikeiosis teaches us that taking care of ourselves is not only important for our individual well-being, but also crucial for the well-being of those around us. This ancient wisdom continues to be a powerful guiding principle in modern therapy and our daily lives. As we delve deeper into these principles, we begin to understand that the pursuit of well-being is not a solitary endeavor, but rather a collective journey. By embracing the concepts of self-preservation and social connection, we can navigate the complexities of modern life with greater resilience and compassion. In this way, the Oikeiosis doctrine serves as a reminder that our well-being is deeply intertwined with the well-being of those around us. Whether through ancient wisdom or modern therapy, recognizing and nurturing these connections can lead to a more balanced and fulfilling life. Ultimately, by understanding and applying the principles of Oikeiosis in our daily lives, we can cultivate a greater sense of self-awareness, empathy, and resilience, essential qualities for navigating the challenges of modern life. Consider the mirror neurons in our brains. These specialized cells activate both when we perform an action and when we observe someone else performing that same action. This neural mirroring suggests a fundamental empathetic response built into our biology. Scientists have found that these mirror neurons are particularly active during social interactions, indicating that our brains are designed to resonate with the experiences of others. Interpersonal neurobiology also highlights the role of the default mode network, a collection of brain regions active during introspection and contemplation of the self. This network not only processes our thoughts and emotions, but is also involved in understanding the perspectives and experiences of others, demonstrating a neurological basis for empathy. Furthermore, the hormone oxytocin, often referred to as the love hormone, plays a crucial role in social bonding. Oxytocin is released during social interactions and is known to enhance feelings of trust, affection, and security, all key components of our drive for connection and belonging. In a study published in the journal Science in 2013, researchers discovered that oxytocin is also linked to self-preservation behaviors. The study revealed that when people were given oxytocin, they exhibited increased self-protective behaviors and a heightened awareness of potential social threats. Taking a broader view, the amygdala, a region of the brain associated with processing emotions, particularly fear, is also implicated in social behavior. This area plays a critical role in detecting and responding to both physical threats and social cues, indicating that our sense of safety and danger is deeply intertwined with our social connections. In summary, interpersonal neurobiology provides compelling evidence that the principles of oikeiosis are not just philosophical constructs, but deeply ingrained in our neurological wiring. Interpersonal neurobiology isn't the only field that echoes Stoic principles of self-preservation and social connection. Psychologist John Bowlby's attachment theory, developed in the mid-20th century, aligns remarkably with the Oikeiosis doctrine. attachment theory focuses on how infants and children form emotional bonds with their caregivers, a process crucial for both self-preservation and social connection. Bowlby identified two key behaviors that drive attachment: proximity seeking and secure base behavior. Proximity seeking is the innate desire to stay close to caregivers, especially in times of distress. Secure base behavior, on the other hand, involves exploring the environment while using the caregiver as a safe reference point to return to if needed. These behaviors ensure that infants stay protected and nurtured, fulfilling their self-preservation needs, while also fostering a sense of security and belonging in their relationships with caregivers. Bowlby's theory goes further to describe how disruptions in these attachment behaviors can lead to anxiety and distress, underscoring the fundamental nature of our need for both self-care and social bonding. In the context of Stoic philosophy, disregarding oikeiosis, neglecting either one's own well-being or one's social connections, can similarly lead to internal conflict and distress. Consider the example of a child who, after a brief separation from their parent, eagerly runs back to them for reassurance. This is a stark illustration of our innate drive for both self-preservation and social connection. This drive is not merely a modern psychological insight, but an enduring principle echoed across centuries through Stoic thought. Just as Bowlby's attachment theory confirms that our earliest social bonds are rooted in survival and belonging, the Oikeiosis doctrine teaches us that these needs are integral to our human nature, transcending philosophical constructs. By exploring this connection between ancient Stoic philosophy and modern psychological theories, we gain a deeper understanding of the enduring relevance of oikeiosis in our lives today. In 2018, a team of researchers at the University of California, Berkeley conducted an intriguing study that explored the deep-seated need for social connection in humans. Participants were asked to complete a series of tasks while being subjected to mild electrical shocks, but with the option to pay a small fee to avoid the discomfort. Interestingly, many chose to endure the shock rather than paying for respite. But when given the opportunity to share the experience with someone else, the willingness to pay increased significantly. This study underscores how our need for social connection is so deeply ingrained that we are willing to endure discomfort to maintain it. In 2019, another experiment at the University of British Columbia focused on the effects of social exclusion. Participants were made to feel left out and then given a chance to either rejoin their peers or spend time alone. The results showed that even when given the option to opt out of social interactions, most participants chose to reconnect with others rather than remaining isolated. As we continue to explore the depths of human nature, let's remember that our drive for survival is intertwined with our need for connection and belonging. Aurelius believed that a leader's true power stemmed from their ability to care for the well-being of their citizens, aligning with the Stoic ideal of extending self-care outward. In his Enchiridion, the Stoic philosopher Epictetus echoed this sentiment, advising that true greatness comes from serving others and cultivating a sense of universal brotherhood. The Stoics believed that the health of society depended on the mutual care and respect among its members, a principle rooted in oikeiosis. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, further elaborated on this theme in his De Clementia, asserting that a just and benevolent ruler is one who governs with compassion and wisdom. For the Stoics, the concept of oikeiosis served as a foundational principle for shaping political systems that prioritize the well-being and harmony of all citizens. This ancient wisdom underscores the enduring relevance of oikeiosis in our modern world, reminding us that true political leadership is rooted in a deep sense of responsibility and care for all members of society. This understanding sheds light on the profound influence of oikeiosis on political thought throughout history, shaping societal structures that foster mutual respect and care. In Athens during the Golden Age, citizens were classified into distinct groups based on their role in society. There were the Eupatridae, who enjoyed full citizen rights and privileges, and the Metics, non-citizen residents allowed to live in the city under certain conditions. Each group played a crucial role in maintaining the fabric of society, from political decision-making to economic stability. The eupatridae held significant power, participating directly in the city's governance. The metics, however, were responsible for many critical economic activities, including trade and craftsmanship. Their status ensured that the city-state functioned efficiently while also providing a safety net for those who might not possess full citizenship. In Rome, the hierarchy was equally defined by one's status within the familial structure and societal roles. The paterfamilias, or father of the family, held immense authority over his household. His decisions governed not just domestic affairs, but also legal matters, religious practices, and even political obligations within the broader community. Beyond the family, Roman society was further stratified into patricians, who were members of the aristocratic class, and plebeians, the common people. This structure ensured that each individual knew their place and role within society, fostering a sense of order and stability that was integral to the functioning of these ancient civilizations. For instance, in Athens, the collective decision-making process among eupatridae ensured that individual interests were balanced against the greater good of the polis. Similarly, in Rome, the role of the paterfamilias extended beyond personal authority to include obligations toward the wider societal fabric. This interplay highlights that our drive for survival and belonging is not a solitary pursuit, but one that inherently involves and benefits those around us. In these ancient societies, the concept of oikeiosis was not just about personal safety or prosperity, but also about nurturing the bonds that knit together the fabric of society. Understanding this deepens our appreciation for the intrinsic need for belonging in human nature, showing that our place within a community is as vital to our survival as any other form of self-preservation. As we delve further into the principles that guided these ancient civilizations, we uncover the enduring wisdom that our well-being is not a solitary endeavor, but a collective journey where each person plays an essential role. Stoic philosophy posits that our innate desire for survival is intertwined with our capacity for empathy and concern for others. This concept aligns with contemporary moral psychology, which explores how our sense of self and well-being are intrinsically linked to our relationships and interactions within society. This moral framework encourages us to view ourselves not merely as isolated entities, but as integral parts of a broader social fabric. It fosters a sense of collective responsibility and interdependence, where each individual's well-being is inextricably linked to the well-being of others. The Stoics believed that justice is the principle that governs our interactions with others. Through Oikeiosis, they argued that understanding our inherent drive for self-preservation can lead us to act justly and fairly toward those around us. Moreover, Oikeiosis encourages us to reflect on our actions and their potential impacts on others. This heightened self-awareness is not only beneficial for personal growth, but also crucial for building harmonious relationships within society. In practical terms, embracing the principles of Oikeiosis can guide us toward more compassionate decision-making. It prompts us to consider not just how our actions affect ourselves, but also how they might influence those around us and the broader community. In conclusion, the Oikeiosis doctrine offers a profound insight into the moral dimensions of human nature. It reminds us that our drive for survival is intrinsically connected to our capacity for empathy and concern for others. By integrating these principles into our daily lives, we can cultivate virtuous character traits and contribute positively to society. This foundational understanding not only enriches our moral psychology, but also fosters a deeper sense of connection and responsibility toward those around us, ultimately leading us to live more compassionate and meaningful lives. In infancy, babies instinctively seek out nurturing and protection from caregivers. This initial stage of oikeiosis is crucial for survival, as young ones depend entirely on their caregivers for sustenance and safety. As children grow, they begin to extend this sense of belonging beyond immediate family, encompassing friends, neighbors, and the broader community. This expanded sense of affiliation is a pivotal step in the development of social connections. Throughout adolescence, this sense of belonging continues to evolve as individuals start to identify with broader societal groups and ideologies. This phase is marked by a growing awareness of one's place in the world and the responsibilities that come with it. In adulthood, Oikeiosis reaches its most complex form as individuals learn to balance their self-preservation instincts with a deep sense of responsibility towards the larger community and even the environment. This lifelong journey reveals that our fundamental drive for survival and belonging is not static, but continuously evolving in response to our experiences and the world around us. As we grow, we come to understand that our self-preservation is intrinsically linked to the well-being of those around us, providing insights into the lifelong relevance of oikeiosis in human development. According to the Oikeiosis doctrine, our instincts drive us to protect ourselves and those around us, not just out of learned behavior, but as an essential part of who we are. This alignment with natural law implies that our social inclinations are not merely taught, but inherently linked to our survival and well-being. For example, in the ancient city of Athens, where Stoicism originated, the concept of oikeiosis was often discussed in relation to justice and fairness. By recognizing that our desire for social connection is a natural extension of self-preservation, we come to understand that our behavior is not merely societal constructs, but expressions of our inherent nature. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, our nature leads us to an unbroken bond with each other. This underscores that social connection is not just a luxury, but an intrinsic need. For Epictetus, the concept of oikeiosis was not merely an abstract philosophical idea, but a deeply practical principle. He believed that our natural inclination towards self-preservation extends beyond just ourselves and into the community around us. The first impulse to preserve oneself is nature's first law, Epictetus writes in his Discourses. This foundational principle underscores that our drive for survival is the starting point from which all other ethical considerations emerge. But Epictetus doesn't stop at individual self-preservation. He argues that oikeiosis involves a broader sense of belonging and affiliation, extending to our families, friends, and ultimately all of humanity. In his Enchiridion, Epictetus writes, "Consider then that everything is connected like the links of a chain, and that each part belongs to the whole." This interconnectedness, he suggests, is not an idealistic notion, but a fundamental aspect of our nature. Through this lens, Epictetus posits that caring for others and fostering social connection becomes essential components of self-preservation. By looking out for the well-being of those around us, we are in fact preserving a part of ourselves. This idea has practical implications for modern life. Epictetus's teachings remind us that our survival and flourishing are not isolated pursuits, but deeply relational ones. To truly thrive, we must nurture not only ourselves, but also the connections that bind us to our communities. In doing so, we align with a fundamental principle of human nature, oikeiosis. Thus, Epictetus's insights provide a historical lens through which to understand the practical applications of oikeiosis in our daily lives. They remind us that self-preservation and social connection are not separate pursuits, but two facets of the same coin. Moving into contemporary philosophy, we see that the concept of oikeiosis remains relevant and is often discussed by notable philosophers like Martha Nussbaum and Peter Singer. Their interpretations illuminate how the ancient Stoic idea continues to inform modern ethical debates. Nussbaum, for instance, explores oikeiosis in her work, Political Emotions, 2003, where she delves into the emotional and social dimensions of self-preservation. She argues that our innate sense of affiliation extends beyond mere survival to encompass broader social and political contexts, underscoring the interconnectedness between personal well-being and collective welfare. Peter Singer, in his book The Life You Can Save's 2013, tackles the ethical implications of oikeiosis from a utilitarian perspective. He contends that our moral obligation should not be limited to those within our immediate social circles, but must extend to all sentient beings. This interpretation expands the traditional Stoic notion of oikeiosis, suggesting that our self-preservation instinct should drive us to consider the welfare of all humans and even animals. Both philosophers highlight how oikeiosis, originally a principle of self-preservation, has evolved into a complex framework for understanding and navigating the intricate web of human relationships and ethical responsibilities. Through their lenses, we see that Stoic philosophy continues to offer profound insights into modern moral dilemmas, demonstrating the enduring relevance of ancient wisdom. This understanding not only deepens our appreciation for ancient Stoic wisdom, but also guides us toward a more compassionate and interconnected future. These neurons play a crucial role in social connection by enabling us to empathize with others and understand their intentions. Furthermore, the default mode network, DMN, a brain system associated with introspection and mind wandering, has been found to be active during self-preservation tasks. When faced with a threat or a challenge, our brains automatically engage these networks to assess potential risks and devise strategies for survival. This innate response underscores the deep connection between our sense of self and our social environment, echoing the Stoic principle of oikeiosis. Neuroscience not only validates but also enriches our understanding of this ancient philosophy, making it more compelling to a modern audience. Ancient Greek art offers a striking visual testament to the concept of oikeiosis, illustrating how deeply ingrained self-preservation and social connection are within ancient Greek societal values. One of the most compelling depictions is found in a vase painting by the renowned artist Apollodorus. This pottery piece showcases a vivid scene of family and domestic life, with each figure carefully rendered to emphasize their interconnectedness and mutual support. The depiction highlights how ancient Greeks valued the household unit as the fundamental building block of society. In another notable example, a mosaic discovered in Pella, dating back to the 4th century BCE, presents a vibrant tableau of people enjoying a feast together. The intricate details of the scene, from the lively conversations to the shared enjoyment of food, underscore the importance of communal gatherings and social bonds within Greek culture. Moving beyond pottery and mosaics, Greek sculpture also captures this essence of oikeiosis. Polygnotus's famous painting, The Battle of Marathon, is a standout example. While it showcases the bravery and heroism of soldiers in battle, it does so within a context that underscores their bonds and mutual support. Even in depictions of mythological figures, such as the sculpture, Laocoon and his sons, the emphasis on family ties and the struggle for self-preservation is palpable. The anguish and desperation of Laocoon and his sons highlight both their deep connection and their fight to survive. They demonstrate how deeply ingrained oikeiosis is in ancient Greek societal values and aesthetics, reinforcing its fundamental nature. In the quiet moments captured by these artists, we see not just images, but a profound understanding of the human condition, an acknowledgement that our drive for survival and belonging is an intrinsic part of who we are. And as we gaze upon these ancient works, we are reminded of the enduring relevance of oikeiosis in our own lives. For if there is anything that unites us across time and cultures, it is this fundamental desire to preserve ourselves and those we hold dear. He advises that one must first take care of oneself before attempting to extend concern to others. This principle is at the heart of oikeiosis, self-preservation leading to the preservation and well-being of others. Musonius Rufus, in his lectures, delves into the practical applications of oikeiosis, discussing how proper self-care and preservation enable individuals to be better partners, parents, and citizens. Rufus illustrates the concept with the analogy of a leaking ship. If the vessel is not maintained, it cannot sustain its passengers. This metaphor underscores the necessity of self-preservation as a prerequisite for nurturing and caring for others. This widespread acceptance and application of oikeiosis across different Stoic philosophers strengthen its relevance and importance in understanding human behavior. As we explore the deeper recesses of Stoic literature, we find that oikeiosis is not just a theory, but a deeply ingrained and practiced principle. Understanding this doctrine helps us appreciate the intrinsic bond between self-care and the preservation of our communities, a wisdom that transcends time and cultures. The Roman family, or gens, was the bedrock of their social structure. Families were not merely units of blood relations, but also economic and political entities that exerted considerable influence. Cicero, a renowned Roman orator and philosopher, embodied this principle in his personal life. His loyalty to his family was unwavering, as seen through his steadfast support for his brother Quintus during the Catiline conspiracy. The client-patron system in Rome was another manifestation of oikeiosis. This relationship was based on reciprocity and mutual benefit, where a client would offer support to their patron, who in turn provided protection and advocacy. Augustus, the first Roman emperor, leveraged this system effectively. By cultivating strong relationships with powerful clients, he was able to maintain control over vast territories and secure his political position. The hierarchy within Roman society reflected a deep sense of order and belonging. From the emperor down to the common citizen, each individual knew their place and role in maintaining the stability and prosperity of the empire. This intricate social web illustrates how oikeiosis was not just a philosophical concept, but also a practical blueprint for community cohesion and individual thriving within the framework of Roman civilization. Consider Odysseus, who after the Trojan War endures a decade-long odyssey to return home to Ithaca. His voyage, filled with perilous encounters and supernatural challenges, demonstrates an unwavering commitment to self-preservation. Similarly, Antigone's story revolves around her unwavering loyalty to family and duty. She defies King Creon's decree to honor her brother Polynices' corpse, risking her life for the sake of family and divine law. Her actions underscore the Stoic belief in the importance of familial bonds and social obligations. Antigone's tragic tale highlights the human need for connection, even at great personal cost. Across various myths, we see recurring themes of family, loyalty, and survival. These narratives emphasize that our drive for self-preservation is intrinsically linked to our need for social connection. Moreover, these stories transcend time and culture, reflecting a universal human truth. The oikeiosis doctrine, rooted in ancient philosophy, finds resonance in myths that continue to captivate us today. And so, as we look back at these ancient myths, we are reminded that our drive for survival and belonging is not merely a modern phenomenon, but an integral part of our very nature. This understanding offers us both comfort and guidance as we navigate the complexities of modern life, ever mindful of our innate need for self-preservation and social connection. Genetic predispositions, such as the fight or flight response, demonstrate how our bodies are programmed for survival. This instinctual reaction triggered by the amygdala is a prime example of evolutionary biology at work. It's not merely about individual survival, it's also about our capacity for collective resilience. Research has shown that this ancient part of our brain can discern potential dangers within milliseconds, preparing the body for action or retreat. For instance, the drive to form close bonds with family and community is a biological imperative, enhancing our chances of survival and well-being. This inclination towards social connection is not just about emotional comfort, it's also a pragmatic means for ensuring mutual support in challenging times. As neuroscience delves deeper into the mechanics of human behavior, it intersects with ethical philosophy in fascinating ways. Enter neuroethics, a field that investigates the implications of our brain's wiring on moral decision-making. Consider a theoretical scenario. A town faces an impending natural disaster, and the only way to ensure the safety of its residents is through collective action. In this predicament, the Oikeiosis doctrine suggests that individuals are hardwired to prioritize not just their own survival, but also the collective welfare of their community. In such high-stakes situations, the amygdala can trigger a fight-or-flight response, but it also influences our ability to empathize with others, crucial for making ethical decisions. Imagine if the town decided to evacuate only a select few while leaving the rest behind. This decision would be heavily influenced by the amygdala's survival instincts. However, the prefrontal cortex, responsible for higher-order thinking and decision-making, can override these primal responses by considering the broader ethical implications. This interplay between the amygdala's survival instincts and the prefrontal cortex's rational thinking is a classic example of neuroethics in action. Understanding oikeiosis can help us navigate these complex moral landscapes by reminding us that our decisions are not just about personal survival, but also about the well-being of our community. In real-world applications, comprehending this innate drive can influence policies and social initiatives aimed at fostering collective resilience and support. For example, in disaster management, emphasizing community engagement and mutual aid can harness the natural inclinations of oikeiosis to ensure that everyone is looked after. Enter the world of artificial intelligence. While AI might seem like a distant relative, it too grapples with issues of self-preservation and social connection. In fact, many algorithms are designed to mimic human behaviors related to survival and belonging. But here's where it gets fascinating. AI doesn't just mimic human behaviors, it can learn and adapt from them. This means an AI system could potentially become more effective at fostering social connections over time, as it processes data on human interactions. Imagine a scenario where an AI-driven platform for mental health support evolves to understand not just symptoms, but the intricacies of human emotions and relationships, all through the lens of oikeiosis. But with great potential comes great responsibility. Programming AI to embody principles like oikeiosis involves a myriad of ethical considerations. For one, ensuring that these systems are fair and unbiased is paramount. After all, if an AI-driven platform favors certain groups over others, it could inadvertently undermine the very social connections it aims to foster. Moreover, we must consider the implications of AI systems that might surpass human capabilities in understanding and fostering these connections. Could they potentially outperform us? Or worse, could they replace us altogether? These are questions not just of technological advancement, but of our very humanity. Yet amidst these challenges lies a profound opportunity to use AI as a tool for enhancing our own understanding of oikeiosis and its role in society. By studying how AI systems learn and adapt, we might gain new insights into the principles that guide our own behaviors, a modern twist on the ancient philosophical quest. In this way, oikeiosis expands its scope to include not just human life but also the technological contexts of today. It's a testament to the adaptability and enduring relevance of these ancient ideas in our ever-evolving world. Consider cooperative breeding in mammals. In some species, like the dwarf mongoose, multiple females give birth around the same time and share their offspring with a dominant female. This communal care enhances the survival rate of all pups involved, demonstrating that even in non-human animals, social cohesion and cooperation play a significant role in survival. Now let's examine group selection theory. This concept posits that traits beneficial for the group as a whole can evolve even if they are not advantageous for individual members. In humans, the ability to form strong social bonds has enabled our species to thrive in diverse environments. The cooperation seen in early human societies, such as the division of labor and collective child-rearing, is a prime example of how social connections are wired into our biology. These evolutionary insights reinforce the Oikeiosis doctrine's core principle. Our drive for survival and belonging is rooted in biology. By understanding these biological mechanisms, we can appreciate how deeply intertwined self-preservation and social connection truly are. This realization not only underscores the wisdom of ancient Stoic thought, but also offers a glimpse into the remarkable resilience and adaptability of human nature. The Oikeiosis doctrine's timeless wisdom offers us a profound lens through which to view our own lives and the world around us. With each new discovery, we come closer to fully grasping the intricate tapestry of human nature and our place in the universe. Beneath the visible surface of our appreciation for beauty lies a complex web of neural circuits. Neuroaesthetics, the scientific study of how our brains perceive and respond to art and beauty, has uncovered intriguing insights into this inner workings. Researchers have found that our attraction to certain features in art and nature is not merely a matter of personal taste, but rooted deeply in evolutionary wiring. Facial symmetry, for instance, holds a significant place in our aesthetic preferences. Studies have shown that we are naturally drawn to faces that exhibit symmetrical features. Baby-faced adults and attractive celebrities often possess such traits. But why is symmetry so appealing? The answer lies in our evolutionary past. Symmetry signals good health and genetic fitness traits that were crucial for survival and reproduction in ancestral environments. This preference extends beyond human faces to natural landscapes as well. Research indicates that people tend to find environments with balanced compositions and harmonious elements more aesthetically pleasing. These preferences for symmetry and balance are not merely aesthetic choices, but innate responses honed over millennia of evolution. Neuroaesthetics illustrates another biological component of the Oikeiosis doctrine by showing how our aesthetic preferences contribute to our sense of belonging and connection. In the ancient Mediterranean, the Greeks practiced a ritual known as the symposium, a communal meal where men would gather to dine and converse on philosophical topics. This ritual was more than just a meal, it was an expression of the Stoic concept of oikeiosis, the inherent drive for self-preservation and social connection. By gathering together to share food and ideas, the Greeks were nurturing their sense of belonging and reinforcing their bonds as a community. In contrast, the Maasai tribe of East Africa holds a coming-of-age ceremony known as the Emuratare ritual. Young Maasai men undergo a series of trials and tests to prove their strength, courage, and endurance, all critical aspects of self-preservation. Upon successful completion, they are welcomed into adulthood and given a new name, symbolizing their new status within the tribe. This ceremony serves as a rite of passage that not only marks an individual's transition into adulthood, but also reinforces their role within the social fabric of the tribe. Whether it's through communal meals in ancient Greece or coming-of-age ceremonies among the Maasai, these rituals demonstrate the universality of oikeiosis. This principle transcends cultural and geographical boundaries, showing that our drive for survival and belonging is an integral part of who we are. In a world where technology and globalization can sometimes make us feel disconnected from our roots, understanding oikeiosis reminds us of the enduring power of community and self-care. Interpersonal boundaries, in the context of Stoic philosophy, refer to the healthy limits we set within our social interactions. These boundaries are crucial for maintaining balance and harmony in our relationships. This principle guides us in setting clear yet compassionate limits within our social interactions. Cicero writes that our natural inclination to care for ourselves extends outward, encompassing all of humanity. This extension is what creates strong and meaningful social bonds. However, setting boundaries within these bonds is equally important to maintain their health and integrity. The Stoics believed that respecting individual boundaries is key to maintaining harmonious relationships. This principle aligns with the idea that true connection thrives when each individual's needs and boundaries are respected. For example, in ancient Stoic texts, Zeno's teachings on Oikeiosis emphasize the balance between self-care and caring for others. This balance is achieved by recognizing and respecting the boundaries of others while caring for ourselves. In essence, Oikeiosis promotes a mindset where we understand that our well-being is intertwined with the well-being of others. Setting clear boundaries within this framework ensures that we foster strong, respectful, and sustainable relationships. As we continue to explore Stoic philosophy, we find that the principle of Oikeiosis serves as a guiding light for establishing and maintaining these crucial boundaries. In ancient Stoic texts, we find numerous examples illustrating this relationship. For instance, Seneca's letters often emphasize the importance of cultivating strong friendships. He writes that true friends are essential for our well-being and resilience. Seneca argues that friendship is a form of self-preservation, as it provides us with support and comfort during difficult times. In his words, true friends are the most precious jewels that we can ever possess. This sentiment underscores the idea that our connections with others are fundamental to our survival. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, also delves into this topic. He writes about the interdependence of individuals within society, noting that our actions affect not only ourselves but also those around us. Aurelius posits that true friendship involves mutual support and care, echoing the principle of Oikeiosis. He believes that by taking care of our relationships with others, we are essentially taking care of ourselves. This concept of Oikeiosis and friendship is not just about individual survival, but also about the health and resilience of our social networks. By nurturing our friendships, we are ensuring that both ourselves and those around us are better equipped to navigate life's challenges. In essence, the Stoics teach us that our drive for survival and belonging is deeply intertwined. Friendship serves as a powerful example of how this connection plays out in practice. By caring for others, we are ultimately caring for ourselves. So, the next time you think about your friendships, remember that they are not just a luxury, but a necessity rooted in our fundamental nature. They are an integral part of who we are and how we thrive. This understanding reinforces the idea that our desire for belonging is fundamental and deeply intertwined with our survival instinct. Friendship is more than just a pleasant aspect of life. It is an essential component of what makes us human. The Stoics believe that humans are social creatures by nature. This idea is underscored in the works of Zeno and Chrysippus, who argued that our natural tendency to form social groups is a key aspect of Oikeiosis. Porphyry, in his writings on the Stoic tradition, explained that our sense of self-preservation does not stop at the individual level. Instead, it expands to encompass our families, friends, and communities. This idea is reflected in the Stoic concept of cosmopolitanism, which emphasizes that all humans are part of a single global community. This principle of extending self-preservation to social groups is not just a philosophical concept, but also has deep roots in our biological nature. In essence, Oikeiosis illustrates that our drive for survival and belonging is not just individual, but also extends to our social identities. This understanding has profound implications for how we view ourselves and others in the world today. Recognizing that our sense of self is deeply tied to our social groups helps us cultivate a greater sense of empathy and unity. In the end, Oikeiosis teaches us that true self-preservation is not about isolating ourselves, but rather embracing our interconnectedness and caring for those around us. Spencer believed that the instinct to preserve oneself is inseparable from the drive to safeguard one's family. This intertwined relationship highlights the fundamental role that familial bonds play in our survival mechanisms. In the Stoic view, The concept of oikeiosis extends beyond mere survival to encompass broader social connections and cohesion within society. The idea is that by nurturing our familial bonds, we lay the foundation for a more harmonious and resilient societal structure. The Stoics saw family as the primary unit of society where individuals first learn to care for others and thus, by extension, contribute to the well-being of the larger community. This principle is deeply rooted in the belief that our capacity for empathy and social connection begins within the family and radiates outward. Historically, this philosophy has found resonance in various cultures where familial bonds are considered sacrosanct and integral to societal cohesion. The ancient Greeks, for instance, placed great emphasis on the concept of oikos, or household, which formed the backbone of their society. In contemporary times, research in evolutionary psychology and neuroscience has supported the Stoic view by demonstrating that our brains are wired to prioritize familial connections as a key component of our survival strategy. This underscores the idea that oikeiosis is not just an ethical principle, but also a deeply ingrained aspect of human nature. So, whether we look back to ancient Greek philosophy or examine the latest findings in neuroscience, the message remains clear. Our survival instincts are inherently social and begin within the family unit. It is through these bonds that we learn to care for others and build a more cohesive society. This insight into our nature not only deepens our understanding of ourselves, but also offers a practical framework for cultivating resilience and harmony in our personal lives and communities. By embracing the interconnectedness highlighted by oikeiosis, we can better navigate the challenges of modern life and build stronger social bonds.